Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 5. This week, we're going to be talking about learning to speak in a new language, which is the beginning of our weeks, focusing on different language domains in relation to second language acquisition. And this week, we're going to be thinking about questions like, does classroom talk matter for language learning? Or what about for learning in general? What we found from most of the research on education over the past few decades is that social interaction plays a key role in our ability to learn something. And we have plenty of research confirming that talk matters for language acquisition as well. So this week, we're going to dive deeply into this topic. We'll be thinking about how teachers can cultivate context for meaningful talk in the classroom and give you some specific strategies for what this looks like in your own teaching environments. So we'll begin the week with a couple of readings. You're going to be returning now to your course text, and we're going to be reading chapters 2 and 3 in Gibbon's book, Scaffolding Language, Scaffolding Learning. And I think she does such a great job of not only giving you some strategies, but also really thinking about what we know from research and from practice about why talk matters and how to create context for meaningful talk. You'll learn some key terms such as message abundancy, IRE, dialogic teaching, as you're engaging in those chapters. Then you'll move on to a chapter from Nancy Cloud and colleagues' book. And the book is called Teaching Adolescent English Language Learners, Essential Strategies for Middle and High School. So I wanted to include this chapter because it's explicitly focused on secondary contexts. I do think those of you who are focused on elementary teaching will also benefit from it. But Gibbon's book does tend to be a little bit more elementary focused. So it's a nice supplement to learn more about different strategies and also some specific things that you should think about when you're working with older learners. After you finish the readings, I would like you to move on to some video examples. So we'll have 2 videos of practice this week. The first one is an elementary classroom in the UK, and it showcases a project called Voice 21, which is an organization that's been working to bring more talk into classrooms. And so you'll learn about some great strategies and see them in action. The next video is called Academic Discussions, Analyzing Complex Texts. This video is focused on an 8th grade classroom, a middle school classroom that is where all of the students are learning English as a new language. And so you'll see how the teacher structures opportunities for students to talk about texts that they're reading. For that one, you will need to click on the link and sign up for a free teaching channel account because the video is owned by them, so I can't link you to it, but it's free to create an account and then you'll be able to see the video. And then finally, for your content learning, you'll have a mini lecture from me where I'll talk through 4 essential strategies that I've found over the years to be really important for enhancing classroom talk. So you'll learn a little bit more about that in the lecture video. Once you've done all of your content learning for this week, it'll be time to discuss and apply what you've learned. So we will have another discussion board post where you'll post a reflection and then at least 2 responses. I did want to note that the reflections have been really good in general. People are citing the readings and the viewings and doing a really nice job engaging critically with the readings, connecting them to your own context, extending beyond the readings. And really asking good questions about them. But I've noticed that the responses tend to lack some of that robustness. And so I am going to start to kind of be a bit more critical in my grading of the responses. So I encourage you to make sure that to get the full points for your response, that you are meaningfully building upon the ideas of your peers or debating some of the ideas that they raise, asking probing questions, making connections to your own experiences. So really trying to push the conversation forward. And I also wanted to let you know that you can respond to someone's response to you as one of your responses. And I encourage you to do that anyway, because it is nice to have a little bit of dialogue, but know that you're always welcome to write one of your responses in response to some questions that somebody's posing, some connections that somebody's making to something you said. So think about that as you're engaging with the discussion board for this week. And then finally, you will be working on your unit plan project, thinking specifically about oral language strategies. So all the sections that are highlighted in pink are for this week, as you're thinking about how you meaningfully build in oral language activities into the unit that you're designing. As a reminder, do keep working on your PD project and your advocacy problem paper throughout this week and throughout the course. Those are just kind of longer term a long-term paper and project that you're working on. So I'll continue to include that as an assignment so that you can prioritize it and keep making steady progress for both of those items. That is it for this week. I hope you have a wonderful time engaging with the content, and I look forward to seeing your reflections on the discussion board.